Let's look at some of these battleground states. The race is already being called in the Sunshine State, a few other states as well. Hunter at the board there for us. What's happening?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Logan. CNN, NBC, and the AP, all three projecting that when all of those votes are counted, Governor Ron DeSantis has won the state of Florida, as well as Marco Rubio for Florida State Senate. So, of course, right now, this was not expected to be a very close race. It was against former Governor Charlie Crist, who was looking to take back his seat from widely popular Ron DeSantis. That, of course, not happening tonight. Again, those three have already called it. Some other key races that we're looking at tonight, one that necessarily was not expected to be a major contender here in New York. We've got Lee Zeldin up against Kathy Hochul. Hochul is the one who took over really in the midst of the pandemic when we saw Cuomo ousted. Lee Zeldin, the Republican, really giving her a run for her money. Of course, that's a race that we're going to watch, but also another one we have been telling you about, Arizona. This one against Kari Lake, that former journalist, 20 years before she switched over, wanting to really make a name for herself, saying that she is going to be somebody that really furthers the Republican Party. She, of course, has major backing from former President Donald Trump. Up against Katie Hobbs. Stark contrast here. Katie Hobbs, Secretary of State there in Arizona. She was actually one who certified the election results in favor of Joe Biden in 2020. So, of course, could not get two candidates further apart on what they believe, but that race still very close. And then, of course, Georgia, another one we're watching for you there, a Republican incumbent, Governor Brian Kemp versus Stacey Abrams. That one, while the polls may have closed there, that one, of course, still close to call. We're going to continue to update you, but let's take a look at some of the other big races that we're going to be following. Of course, the balance of power right now, this is the strongest chance that Republicans have to flip this power into their hands right now from the Democrats. All 435 seats up for grabs here. They only need 5. They only need to net 5 in order for them to take control of the House. Right now, we are seeing 26 won by Republicans, 14 by Democrats. So what does this mean? What happens if it goes into Republicans' hands? The House, they have a lot of power of investigating. They've said, Republicans, that they're going to disband the January 6th committee. They're going to do a lot of work on maybe investigating some of President Biden, his son even. So again, another balance of power here in the House that we are certainly going to be watching very closely for you. In the Senate, we know right now 50-50 tie with the Vice President Kamala Harris, that tie-breaking vote. This one, the Republicans only needing to net 1 seat. So right now, 35 up for grabs, incumbent in Arizona. The Democrat Mark Kelly up against Blake Masters, another race very close. And then one that many say is going to dictate who controls the Senate, and that is the Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman versus Mehmet Oz, the Republican there. And then another major one we're watching, Logan, is that one against incumbent Raphael Warnock versus Herschel Walker. Those polls, like we said, have closed, but they have to reach in the state of Georgia 50% of the vote in order to claim victory. That's not expected to happen tonight. Also important to note that a lot of these states have different rules on voting in general. So whether or not we are going to be seeing maybe final results, it is still to be seen. But Logan, I can tell you there's a lot right now. President Biden's agenda on the line for Democrats, and certainly, of course, we're going to continue to update you as these results come in. We'll send it back to you.
It'll be interesting to see, especially those Senate seats. I know former President Donald Trump was stumping for Mehmet Oz there in Pennsylvania, so we'll see if that helped. All right, Hunter Sowards at the board. We appreciate it, Hunter. Thank you.